Fast forward, any come our channel is AG Politics Avenue. Political stories are trending because making headlines. The Jamre na EDB Exomo, Awaha, and EDB Yahoo Black Simus, and AD Kanya. The best is to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so share. Now for friends to answer into me and KB. Now, your boy every month, Kevin Taylor, and at Minoka say, what to me about a year, a year lolo basisa, Mampain John Romani Mahama. When you can't about a bemuno, or the Omaisika Ecotoye. O free akunya so no ujai edema eye MPP amayuko no na nhwehwemu a Katie aye eni se basis no dodo na mu aton mu ton ye no sika no omo de abo mu ata so ya ka no so omo maintain no eno ena akoba ne sa ama transport situation a ene akoye west ewo oman Ghana mu a me no kasai timamufo a omo Ghana ha sei ebre ansa na omo nya access to transportation akọ omo nyuma so no abanasa. Now, at this point in time, what Jemre abra all probe into the matter. Mr. Say room, ye when ye any day ba. Aha, AGA Politics Avenue. But I say what Jemre Elha, young Quincy.
Buses now MPP better and almost 400 buses. They left them to rot. All because they wanted to create their own internal transportation system. Mukobusa, me papa adakabre. When the MPP came to meet Ayalolo Basasa, John Mahama, Ejama, NPP Abai 2016, they decided to break all of them and keep them at bay. And I almost say they didn't maintain even one. And the funny thing is, Bawumia and Akuffo, the NPP, they did not retool the transportation system. For 8 years, when was the last time I would say Abai a year MPP Abai to me retool the transportation system and augment or try to refurbish the transportation system? They never did that because they wanted to run the transportation system themselves by making sure their private companies in Ghana took over the transportation system. Almost 400 buses. They messed all of them up. These are the same people today screaming.
Screens completely broken. Others are literally sitting on the ground. Many do not have seats in them as hundreds of the Ayalolo buses continue to rot away in a yard at the Achimota news station. Many of these buses were never operated but have been left under the mercy of the weather for nearly a decade. It remains a pity as government now makes efforts to service Metro Mass buses or even procure new ones for public transportation.
I'm sure that this is one of the transport minister would take a keen interest in if we are looking at bringing more buses, especially the agreements that we know has been signed to bring in about 100 of the EV buses, the electric buses, and even the current arrangement with Metro Mass to get more of their buses coming into town to transport people. But you see a lot of them here. See, these ones, all their tires have been removed. Let me show you just another of the bus with the windscreens and everything torn apart. Nothing to write home about. Even if you decide to maintain, it would cost you a lot. Grounded, no attention paid to them.
Nipebi decided say they are going to make this government unpopular. And I can tell you, most Ghanaians know what I'm talking about. The people who are making a car, one send some ding, one GPRTU, and two the drivers. In Ghana today, Obian to Minjina stage Bianca say Ghana ne yetino petrol boy ding. You lie bad. Nobody in Ghana. Now here Ayalolo buses. This is 2026. Only 80 of 245 Ayalolo buses in operation. And the Ayalolo buses now John Mahama and this motoye almost bear 300, only 80 are working. Could you shout the question or dirty boys? Come and listen. How did we get here? Say there were 245 buses. A government bought and left for another regime to maintain and expand. How did we get here? Where? How did we get here? Where? Those 245 buses, aka 80 per. How did we get here? Was somebody doing their job? Was somebody retooling the transport system? Was somebody maintaining what they came to inherit? Ayalolo buses are John Mahama Toya and Son of Free Power. Now 245. And then say aka 80 pe ene ye juma ema Ghana for only 80. Now the most interesting thing about what I'm telling you, now when you look at STC, government direct STC buses back on road amid transport congestion. Now Bebusa will say STC signed aka. Now let's go back. Why we are having this problem today. Let's go back.
Now, it is a daunting task for passengers to board commercial vehicles locally known as trot in the city of Accra during peak hours. According to passengers, the worsening transportation situation is making life unbearable for them. They say the government must address the failing transport system in the Greater Accra region. Channel 1 News' Philip Nilate reports.
Walking long distances and standing at bus stops for hours to board a commercial vehicle seems to be the norm for the ordinary Ghanaian who seeks to get to work early and return safely after a long day's work in some parts of the Greater Accra region. The disorganized transportation system in Ghana appears to have worsened. Passengers are compelled to wake up early to secure their spot in the few available churches in the morning to beat the gridlock and to get to work on time. The cycle repeats after work. Individuals heading to Kaswa often call Pokwase Ablekuma, Amasaman, Insawam, and other areas in the region.
Remember, sa video I was 2024. Don't get it wrong. Video I was 2024 video. So don't get it wrong. Mean my yesterday free. This is 2024. Now NPP no power. So this crisis now ocean 2024. I want to remind you. Let's go back.
Now it is a daunting task.
The disorganized transportation system in Ghana appears to have worsened. Passengers are compelled to wake up early to secure their spot in the few available churches in the morning to beat the gridlock and to get to work on time. The cycle repeats after work. Individuals heading to Kaswa often call Pokwase Ablekuma, Amasaman, Insawam, and other areas in the region find it very difficult to get transportation to work and back to their homes. Some traders at the Central Business District of Accra are compelled to walk from Accra to Roxy, Total, and Kwame Nkrumah Circle in search of a commercial vehicle to go home after work.
Inside, and because I want you know my car hoarding. Answer no be free her, I be do no. Or do call from Cobaria, or bet me I catch us over you 20 Ghana. I answer the old bedroom, say, I had him so mulodu 10 cities. We cry says 5 but over call Mumba 10 cities and son on the Wako. The Bam saying about a pecker. I know Crano, I just say about play one son in your car. Or play one son when your car.
But those who from Pokwasi and the Amasaman, they are finding it difficult to get car. Always, every evening, they have to walk from the Rollins Park through to the Kingsway, right down here, before they can get a car. And there's no car. And I think the vehicle, government have to, get something to do about it for them. Those Ayalolo, they have to be enough buses, transport the people back home every evening. Because it's very hectic. Sometimes when it rains, when you see people here, my brother, you cry for them. Sometimes it can be up to 11 o'clock. Last a friend go home almost 2 o'clock. And the next day, 8 o'clock, you have to be at work. Waiting for car. Just here. You see, just close this bus stop here. He was standing here to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock before he got a car. So those are the problems we are facing here. You need to get a good transportation system. Like you said, the train have to go there, then the other buses too have to, go there, those areas, those far ahead. Because, every day people are from far place coming to Accra. Every day then you come every day. So they should do something about it.
The struggle worsens at Kwame Nkrumah Circle, Mr. Biggs, and Graphic Road bus stops, among others, as passengers fight their way into public vehicles. Some disgruntled passengers bemoaned the situation.
They say problem they facing is they say tractor na ye juma wa anu na no fair mo pe no moje. They say transport na ye to so lol fare na ye to so no no enye juma wa ha sa ha se ye enye juma wa ha If you are poko aso ebiji 10 cedi, ebiji 15, amasaman 15, taifa 10 cedi. Omo no Atimota old station, just omo short. So anything nipa na gu ha bebre, nipa no ha bebre, no hu nipa bebre wa na asechire no. Eye kwan na omo ye no. Na railway no ama saman nsam kwan na omo ye no. Ana ama traffic. You say kwan na nye enti no. I say omo kwa omo brain na sefo na traffic. And train no say nye adwuma. Tie nye adwuma ne de ye friend is saying ama omo fi Accra bani na bebre na nante e ba ase.
Now, it is a daunting task for passengers to board commercial vehicles, locally known as
have tried to fix the country's transportation issues, but the problem keeps worsening. Urban development specialist Dr. Bernard Abeku Arthur says the country has a failed public transport system.
We have a failed public transport system. Failed in the sense that anytime you see taxis, trotros, two-wheelers and three-wheelers running public transport, there is a failure. It's a failure in the sense that our policy, our national transport policy, states clearly that public transport shall be done by high occupancy vehicles, that is 50, 60, 80-seater buses to run public transport. So within the city, in the immediate ring around the city, the outer ring, we are looking at public transport of high occupancy vehicles. And that includes trains as well. So you take people en masse.
In Greater Accra,
Truth is, our public transport is mainly by road now. But under normal circumstances, we should have water transport. We should have trains running within the city to look at ensuring that we have the road architecture is such that it supports public transport. We want to tweak it in a way that trotros, buses, and all that will have their place in the public transport system. But when it comes to the inner city and maybe specific routes, would want to have this type of bus service.
4. Now MPP in our power. So the problem was about how our transportation system was bad. Our population increasing. We are getting more and more people taking over the transport system and duping the people at the same time. We have GPRTU that has become an extortion association whereby they find ways and means to extort from the people. In the past, nobody say, in the history of the Republic of Ghana, this is the time petrol boy fupa. So why is it say now let's look at what they were talking about in 2024. It's about state transport. Sa ayalolo na meka ho asem kire no. Before elections or 2 years before elections, Ghanaians started talking and asking Akuffo and Bawumia by any MPP for say, what has happened to the government transportation system? At a point, some young men even tried to show us the Airto Ayalolo buses and STC. And so national security for more MPP, they started going after people who wanted to expose the government, which decided to neglect your transportation system. This is when MPP, they were in power.
Have tried to fix the country's transport.
Let's now continue with
this video you're about to watch. This is the current state of Ayalolo na. John Mahama buying a Jama Akuffo, almost 300 cars, 300 buses, and 2026. Let us go and check the status of the buses now. MPP by inherited 8 years ago. Ayalolo and the STC. Let's go. This is the current situation we are facing.
Let's now continue with our series on public transportation, and hundreds of Ayalolo buses have been grounded for years without.
Jantreni or what Jantreni Spanish for Dini Negel Kruhano. Sakwasiampe not Ghana. It's a small boy, so sometimes I don't even want to waste my time on that fool. Now let's go. The current state of Metro Mass. This is Akuffo 8 years. The current state of Metro Mass. Ope buying bus afo. Do you know why we are struggling today in Accra? This is Metro Mass, the current state after Akuffo will take over.
This is the Metro Mass Transit Limited head office, and as part of our Transport Challenges campaign, we visited this place to find out exactly what the issues are. Where I stand is the head office, and we are told some of these buses will be moving very soon to Kaswa Enclave, and many of them will also be going towards Adenta and other parts. We are fortunate to have here with us the Deputy MD in charge of operation, Harana Redu, joining us to give us some further explanation on what exactly it is. Explain to us, what exactly is a challenge? You are told about 400 of your vehicles are not functional. How did you get here?
Thank you very much. Like you rightly pointed out, let me take our viewers a bit into some historical accounts of where we are. As you are aware, Metro Mass was birthed out of then defunct Omnibus Service Authority, as you put it, OSA. By 2003, under the elsewhere Akuffo administration, through an act of parliament, Metro Mass was established. When Metro Mass was established, President Akuffo began with about 500 buses. Then Mills Mahama, spanning from 2009 to 2016, augmented our fleet level with additional 500 buses, summing up to about 1,000 buses as of 2016. When the NDC exited power in 2016, at 2017, when the NPP administration took over the reins of power, at Metro Mass, they put about 400 buses on scraps. Then, 2 months into the elections, specifically October 2024, additional 313 buses, 313 buses, were also put on scraps, sold to some individuals allegedly associated with the previous management or administration. Unfortunately, from the sale of the 300 buses, we were told that then management realized a paltry 2.9 million out of the sale of 313 buses. Currently, we are routing averagely about 115 buses across Ghana. We have 90 buses at various levels of repairs. We have close to about 197 buses, specifically 197 buses declared by the technicians or the technical department as unserviceable. So that is the sorry state of Metro Mass.
How many of them which are unserviceable? How many?
Currently, we have about 197 buses declared by the technical department as unserviceable.
So what do you do with them?
Well, as it stands now, per the law, Board of Survey has been put together. They've come around the country, submitted their reports, which will be taken to the next level for consideration. And the sorry state of it was that you realize that previously, poor maintenance culture, lack of proper supervision, occasioned the movement which has resulted in the kind of, wastage that has, bedeviled our company. Unfortunately, the previous administration also embarked on getting or retooling the company with those buses you see there, the Dawu buses. And these buses are the nightmare of the company. Unfortunately, those buses were procured by the previous administration. These buses came without a single spinner, without a single boot, no spare parts. And it is very difficult.
These are the facts. And the ATM, a buying buses when. Na okano osi osa Akuffo betu osa na osa egu ena Akuffo de 500 buses buy ne be friend Akuffo bus ata Mills ne Mahama buy ena omo de another 500 beka ho. John Mahama every power in 2016 odane almost 1,000 buses ema Akuffo ado say aban Metro Mass buses ni monje mo maintain na yemfa nya adwuma wo Ghana. As 2017 John Mahama move free power na buses 2024 buses are nanado danko Akuffo adomo 2017 400 and I'm say you know something 400 no ni nyina say 2024 313 omeka say ni nyina say that is almost 713 buses omo twitwa ni nyina ye co-ports sa ni nyina say entumi nya adwuma. You inherited close to over 1,000 buses omo free power no. Now we have less than maybe 300 buses in Ghana. And these buses are intercity buses. They are not intracity buses. Ayalolo, they were intracity. The difference between intracity and intercity, they say, Akuffo buses, they were the ones going to Koforidua, Kumasi, Takwa, aboso asankregwa intercity ena John Mahama edi ayalolo no so be pay so say eno nye intracity eno from Adenta to Legon, from Legon to Kaswa, from Kaswa to Pediase. That is what they were doing. But these people came into power. Nana Komia campaign, the STC insa, the State Transportation Ministry insa. They could not. Mukai said me a scandal be about Saabas ready bino. Mukai, that was 2017 or 18. I came to expose the chief of staff. Omokoto basis via one was worth about $17,000. $70,000. Mukai, I did the scandal. Saabas is some of the buy no. Omoto the low grade bus then do 20. And now Omobeche some to bus is 500. Later, Koye search Ayabibia would say the chief of staff, Fremont Parry, and the transport minister then. Sa transport minister now and there where one man fear Canada Japan that guy omuno mu dis askano omu the bus by not span abakundemu. The bus did not have any backup equipment or tools and to sustain the buses. They just went to bring bus to 3 weeks and a bus in Abubuye. Now we are talking about a transportation system that is collapsing. Now, can we in 1 year blame a government that came to inherit all these problems? I will not say the government is not responsible. It is the responsibility of the government to find ways and do what? Find ways to solve this problem. And in 2025, Dorcas, a deputy transport minister, was sent out of the country to go and inspect and look for buses that can come and augment what we have in Ghana.
We ain't some who do it so channel so. Mamma so Jim Rewa, the Senator Badiano, Edia Dumbi Edomiani, only a boy room, not Yasumu Yipa.